Hello, everyone. Vicky Asharde with Nature's Best Art. Thank you for joining me today. In front of you is the last picture that I painted to fit in these small frames. I just love this frame. I showed you this. It was empty last week, and how I got this inspiration for this one is I went on Pixabay and I found a beautiful teacup. It actually has a little gold in it. I saw a little shiny gold in it. So I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I'll show you a little bit later up up close here. Maybe if I get up close, you can see that gold here and here. But it has the blue flowers. I thought that was just so pretty, the roses and the dots that it came down, from the cup, and this handle. I love the handle, and I just love the like the scallop look that this plate had, and a little bit of the blue here. I just love that, and I decided to actually paint the brown table because of this beautiful frame. I wanted to kind of emphasize that. So I'm going to put this down here, and then I'm going to show you now something else. We're going to jump over to, let's see here if I could get this. It is this one here. It's the Bachelor buttons that I'm going to show you next in my next picture. Okay, it's actually the one I'm painting now, and I wanted to paint a little bit on camera with you. I want to show you first how I got inspiration for this teacup. I hope you can, excuse me, zero in, like maybe put your finger like that on your phone, or your other device that you're watching this from, and make this a little bigger because we're going to be painting these Bachelor buttons. I wanted to show you how I got inspiration. What I do is I just look around my house a lot of times. I have lots of things in my craft room I get inspiration from, especially color, and I just really I have a wonderful time exploring, the possibilities. So this possibility was that I saw my necklace. I actually wore it the other day, and I thought, I just love these colors. This is a necklace that I made out of polymer clay. This has polymer clay, and also my what I call paper beads. And I see, a little orange in here and the blue. I think the orange and the blue, I love those colors together. And then I saw a little gray, and I thought that is perfect because I want to make like a gray table because it's going to be matching, excuse my arm, this frame here. So I thought a gray table, would look pretty with this frame. That's how I got that inspiration. And then, so what I thought is, okay, so what flowers are the blues and the oranges? And so I thought, I loved cosmos that was in my garden in the summer. And then my Bachelor buttons, I remember those. I just love those. And so I'm going to put this up here to get this out of my way here. But these Bachelor buttons on Pixabay, it's a site on the computer that I go to often to get inspiration. And also what it is it's a site that the photographers take pictures of whatever they want to take pictures of, and they allow artists to paint what they photograph. Now, in this picture here, if you remember that picture on Pixabay, what I did is I just made it my own. It wasn't exactly like this, but I love the ideas of the dots. I love the scalp look, and so I made it my own. I took some, other colors, some pinks. I made a Gerber daisy, and then this gold here I put on. These are from the I don't know how to pronounce that. It's called it's spelled Coliro, and it's called Pearl Colors, and they're handmade in Germany. And I just love them. I a lot of times I put them on things that I make for Christmas. And the color that I used for this one was, let me see, in the back it tells you the colors. So it was the Gold Pearl, number 640. Okay. Now the other, I just want to let you know too, the other colors that I used were the blues that were actually still in my palette. After this project, I'm actually going to get rid of all these colors that have been in my Jones palette for a long time. There's cerulean blue in here. There's Prussian blue. There's ultramarine. And after a while, things get just so mixed up that, I like to start over. So I'm going to take all this paint off. Maybe I'll put it on my other papers, because I do use other papers to make cards when I make my handmade cards. But I also took this orange from this palette too. And that was probably from, let's see, I put down here, let's see, my Arbor Daisy and Roses. What was that? Here, this is why I left these here, because I'm gonna talk about these colors in a minute. Here, I'll put this down here. I want to get my hands too dirty. Okay, so the orange was from my other painting, and I'll show you those in a minute. We'll talk about those colors that I used in my other little miniature pictures like I wanted to. But so the orange was Hansa Yellow Deep and permanent alizarin crimson. I can show you that. Let's see, it was this one here. Here's the Hansa Yellow Deep, and from my Jones palette, and the permanent alizarin crimson makes that real pretty orange color. And so on how I got that, actually, originally, now here's these that I put in my palettes, so that I know what colors are in my palettes. But when I make my color chart, I do it this way. This was actually from a long, long time ago when I first originally made my color chart. I took my permanent alizarin crimson, and then my Hansa Yellow Deep, and my permanent alizarin crimson, and that made this color. My Hansa Yellow Deep, permanent alizarin crimson made this deep kind of orange. So what I did though, and I want to let you know, when you make your color charts, don't just put them dark or just one color here. What you want to do, and I talk about this in my color chart making, and you can go on a video that I have, how to make a color chart. Is what I learned later is, okay, so these are by Winsor & Newton Cotman. These are my M. Graham paints mostly. And so, but these are my Winsor & Newton Cotman. And so what you want to do is you want to put a dark color and a light color, so you know what it looks like dark and light. See this, if you can zero in on this, see this light color here, and then the dark color. It makes a difference in your painting. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about color there in that picture there. So that's how I got my inspiration for that, and my inspiration was on Pixabay for this one. So like I say, there's all sorts of different ways and reasons why, probably you get your inspiration too, right? I'm going to leave these right here because we're going to talk about this later. Yeah, so now this is the way I wanted to show you a few things before we begin painting. We're going to just paint these middle parts of the Bachelor buttons. That's my next step. This is just all like one glaze in these, and I'm just not done with this at all. I have quite a bit more to do, and we're going to paint those Bachelor buttons today. But I wanted to tell you though a little bit more about this picture. So when I start painting these smaller, for the frames, these I call them miniature originals, is what I call them. And so when I start and I need a paper for that, I grab my Arches, which is my best paper that I have. I love Arches paper. It has a bit of tooth to it, and it's actually a little bit more expensive than a lot of other papers, but I just love using it. So what I do is, so I match the size with my frame, so I get the right frame. And of course, each frame comes with, you know, a little something in the inside of it. When you buy frames, that's what the, and then you take it out, and that's how I get my size. Um, Here, I'll just put that down like that. Okay, so then I make sure I have the right size for the frame, and then I put my masking tape. This is from the dollar store, all around the sides, but I put it on my this here, my mat, my silicone mat, because it moves. I just love doing that because if I want to turn my picture like that, my painting, and use my paintbrush, you know, a certain way, I can turn my painting any way that I need to. Now, when I draw something, I draw directly on my arches paper with these for the miniature frames. What I usually do is I use a piece of graphite paper. I actually I on my bigger originals, my really big originals, and my 11 by 14s and my 5 by, oh, I go up to really big, like 16 by 20. That's not really big, but if I ever did like an 18 by 24, 16 by 20, I do 11 by 14. Is what I do is I take just a regular, you know, office paper, and I draw on that. And then what I'll do is I take a graphite paper and I'll put a piece of let's see, graphite paper on my 140-pound cold press arches, and then I put that paper that I drew on top of the graphite paper, and then I'll start. You know, you've seen me do this. I've said, you know, mentioned that several times on my bigger paintings. Is what I do is the graphic paper is under here, and it'll transfer on the arches paper when I trace my drawing you know, and with the graphite paper in the middle. But what I decided to do is I'm not doing that. I'm not using the graphite paper. I'm drawing from my idea. These. I just want to show you. This looks kind of like a mess, but this is my basically my idea of what I want to put on here. So I won't. I'll think about it a little bit, and you know, that's what I like to do. Some people like to just paint on their paper. Some people like to just to draw and then paint. So what happens when you draw directly? I just want to let you know this too. When you draw directly on your paper, sometimes you'll have to use something like this. And this is called a kneaded eraser, because sometimes you'll get too dark with your pencil. I just use a regular number 2 pencil. And so this is, you can push this any way you want to get rid of like what you picked up before, because when you pick up, like I'll do a little bit here, this is a little too dark for me, I think. So I want to take some away, see? And it'll take it right away. There. Now when I paint that, it won't show up very dark. I did that with my roses. I'm starting to paint this. This is my dark colors. This is not complete yet of my purple rose. And so what I did was I started to take a little bit of that pencil marks away with my kneaded eraser. So that's how I did that. Okay, and I want to mention that. And then when I do, I like to store this in these baggies because I think it keeps them soft. I think they stay nice and soft. Okay, so now let's get started with my Bachelor buttons. I'm just going to, like I say, use the paint that's in my palette. I'm going to move this a little bit away from my paint, my water. I don't want to get, that's my, I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. But that was the painting that I just showed you. Actually, I may put it down. Now we're done talking about this one. Do you like this one? Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so I'm going to put it down here. I love the colors, actually. So, and I'm going to squirt my paint right here. And I'm basically going to use the ones that are darker, the colors that are darker. Like I said, I've had these in my palette for quite some time. Okay. And what we're going to do is, what I want to do is, Bachelor buttons have like little, and I'm going to be looking at my Pixabay example here. And there we go. See, I picked up a little bit of hair. That's why I want to not actually use these anymore, because I think they got a little dusty maybe at one time or another. So I'm going to be pulling all this, the colors. When I get done with this picture, painting this picture, I'm going to maybe put them on something that I could use, maybe on cards. Okay, so let's get started. I like to work from left down and then across this way, okay? Because once you start it, like if I started here, I would get my hand in there, right? So let me get in the middle here. I'm going to be starting in the middle, and these are going to be the darker ones, the darker petals. I'm going to leave a little bit of white showing. Okay, and we don't want to make them all particular area that size. So what I'm going to try to do too, I'm going to use this, it's a number 2, and it's called a liner. So I'm going to try that. Use a different size so they're not all the same size. Maybe a different color too, actually. The different color I have in here. Let me see here. I want to fill it out pretty much in the middle, but a different size. There we go. This one I have to go a little slower, I think, to get more control. That's basically what I'm going to do to that one. Okay. And then this one here, I'm going to get a little bit more of this color. I'm going to work on this one now. Okay. I'm going to bring this up here. I love Bachelor buttons. Do you have them in your garden? Okay. All right. I'm going to get that liner again and go slower. So I have more control. This liner is nice for, there, that's about as much as I want to do for that one. For, making grasses. Okay. And let's see here. Get a little dark color there for my next one. All right. Now it looks kind of like there's one behind here, I think. I'm going to save this, actually. I'm going to do this one first. Oh, there was see that water there? I want to get that water off my ferrule so it doesn't drip. I think I'm going to do this one first, and then I'll do that. All right, now let's see. I don't want to get these too thick. I'm using a number 4. Oh, let me get a number 2. That's why I picked up I think I should have started with the number 2. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe I picked up the wrong brush the second time. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So this is a little thinner brush. That's what I need. Yeah, that thinner one is better. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little thinner one. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any control over that. That almost looks, I have a little too much water on it. That's why. Like I say, I'm going to leave a little white around in the middle. And I'm going to do one more there. There. Okay. And then let's do the number 2. Let's get this darker color here. See this almost, oh, yeah, I gotta get more water on that. You can always tell the brush doesn't come to a point if you don't have enough water on there. Okay, now this one I'm gonna put just a little bit here like this. This looks like it's in back of the other one to me. Okay. All right, and then on this one, I'm gonna put on here. Here's the liner. Okay. Almost looks like it's getting a thicker line. Maybe it's because when I do the grasses, I'm like this, and it gives me a nice thin line. I think I'm going to stick with actually this number 2 is working better. Excuse me. Let's see if I can maybe get a different look here a little bit. Yeah, I like that number 2 is working better. I thought that number, the liner would do me well. Sometimes you just gotta keep switching brushes until whatever works better. Okay. All right, now what I need to do when I stop the video, I'm gonna go in a little bit with that one. I'm gonna make these 2 flowers more distinguishable, so that means I gotta come back down here with a little darker color right here. I don't want to go too dark there. Let me see if I can do that. I think I'll use this blue here. Make that look like it's not the same flower. Okay, so it's basically starting here, I think. I'm going to start it here. It's darker here. And then this is part of this flower here. And there. Make that look similar. There we go. Okay, well, I'll work with that a bit. And that one is behind there. Okay. All right. So now, and then we're going to have the green stems here. We're going to have a yellow rose here. And I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to have here. I may have the blue and the blue handles and perhaps the blue around, you know, the bottom here. But I definitely know that I'm going to have gray, a gray plate. So there you have it. There is our last one I'm working on. Now, if you remember, I had this one. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to put this up here. And then remember this one. Let me get my colors out that I use for this one. Let's see here. It is the, see, this is my pretty yellow. I have so many different color papers all over the place. My yellow one. This is my permanent rose. Oh, here, pretty pink. And this is pretty pink and roses. I call it, wait, pretty pink roses and macaroons. These are macaroons, not scones, like I said last week. But this color I wanted to talk a little bit about. This is my one that I used dioxidant, purple, and mauve together. And that's how I got that. These were the pinks that were in my palette. And I believe they were my permanent rose from my Winsor & Newton Cotton. And this is Payne's Gray here. And I love that, this, in this frame. I think it's just so pretty. So we'll put that here for now. And then this is the one that I showed you last week also. And I call this Pretty Yellow and Orange Flowers. And this was like an accent flower. I picked up a postcard and they had these kind of colors to it. And I just love that. And I thought it would be so nice in this vintage looking frame. And I want to talk to you about this particular color. It's with my Viridian Hue, which is my Winsor Newton Cotton, and my Dioxazine Purple together, and that creates that color. And these are what we talked about here with the orange flower. The orange colors are again Hansa Yellow Deep and Permanent Alizarin Crimson together, created that orange. And the yellow is Hansa Yellow Deep and Yellow Ochre. I wanted like a darker a color yellow. And here, I believe I just used Hansa Yellow Deep on this. And maybe a little lemon, I call it Azo Yellow. Perhaps I did that on that one. And then the greens, all my greens I used sap green and hooker's green mostly. And if I wanted a darker green, I used, a blue in my green, in my sap green. That makes a darker green, okay? I wanted to talk to you about that too. Okay, and then one more I wanted to show you is this one. Isn't this so pretty? This is, let me see if I can get that one. Like I say, this is called Purple and Lavender Beauty, I call this. And so these colors were the Dioxazine Purple and Cerulean Blue is what created this purple. And then these colors here was Magenta and Dioxazine Purple. And so I thought that created pretty. It was so pretty together, the colors. And this is like that green gold I have in my palette also. And I love the Payne's Gray that was created. This was created with Payne's Gray, only with less water. This table here. So like I say, on this table, I'm going to paint probably the Payne's Gray. Now, if I want to get darker shadows, what I'll probably do is I'll use Payne's Gray and then put a little blue in it, and it'll make a darker shadows because I got some blue up here. That'll be nice. That'll be very pretty. I'm really excited about this one too. So all these paintings, and I have, and I haven't named this one yet, and but I talked about all these things here that I wanted to talk to you about. This one, the Bachelor buttons, the Cosmos, the purple rose that's going to be more purple, and then the yellow rose is in there. So I talked about my inspiration for that I got from this one. It was on Pixabay, and this one was in a bag that I had in my home that I just, I love the colors. I thought, oh, what pretty colors that would make it in a teacup. And then this one was from a postcard I got a long time ago. And this one was they were just colors in my palette that I wanted to actually use up, that I just love actually, that I thought would go really pretty with the gray. So these are my four, like I say, that I finished. This one has a while to go yet, but I wanted to show you where I was at, with these flowers. I'm going to do a little bit more with these Bachelor buttons, especially this one here. I still think that one needs to be a little bit more separated. I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. And then I'll show you the results and a picture of it when I get finished with it, probably next week. I'll be able to finish this by next week. I got a little bit going on this week with things. But so I told you about the paper I use and the color choices, how I got the color choices. And then Let's see, what else did I want to, oh, and I showed you the Bachelor buttons. So I think that is all. I think that is all I wanted to talk to you about. And I'm so excited. And this one too, I'm going to put a little gold on this one too. I just love it. And anytime I can, I try to do it. And I hope that you can see that gold. I don't know if you can see that gold on the handle, a little bit of gold on the handle. I'll check my video when I get done. But I think it's just so pretty. So thank you for joining me today. This was a little longer video, but I hope you got a lot of tips um, for your and inspiration. Um, look around your home, your craft room particularly, and just have fun and create and did I tell you that they're going to be Christmas presents? I don't know if I said that. Um, I was thinking of Christmas presents. At first, I thought Mother's Day, but I thought, oh, I want to give this person. I give my daughters and my daughter-in-law's Mother's Day presents. But I had already in my mind thought what I was going to give them, and it wasn't this. And I thought, oh, but these would make wonderful Mother's Day gifts. But what these are going to be is they're going to be Christmas gifts. Because I already have in my mind what I'm going to give them. So I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. It's coming up this Sunday really quickly. Oh my goodness. I can't even believe it. You have a wonderful and fun Mother's Day with all your loved ones. And I hope that you can see your loved ones. And what I'm going to do is, I don't think that I'm going to see anyone on Mother's Day, but I have other things planned throughout. Like I think we're going to all get together in June for Mother's Day. Actually, because that's when everybody can and they're can get together. Um, but um, but so I'm gonna have fun doing things throughout. Like tomorrow, um, my son and daughter-in-law want to get together with me. My husband for Mother's Day. Saturday, my daughter and her family, they're going to get together probably with us Saturday. And so next week, I'm gonna see my other son, and we're gonna. So I guess I'm gonna celebrate Mother's Day all the month of May, which is wonderful. I love that. I love that. But then also in June, I have something planned to bring all the moms in our family together, which is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited about that. So I hope I gave you some ideas and tips and some inspiration. So until next time, happy creating.